Hello and welcome to Lady Applejack Speaks VA, a VA channel here on YouTube that focuses on the Netflix series Stranger Things. I'm back, but not with a new episode. In fact, it's totally different from what I usually post. Normally, you guys see me posting episodes, and that's really it, not really any commentary. I think the only time that I've done commentary was for series 2 and after a very difficult episode where I posted. And it looks like we're back in that stage again. Yay. So first off, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has stuck around on this channel and has shown appreciation for the work that I do put out. I appreciate it greatly. And I think it's time just to talk about the elephant in the room. So I posted about an hour ago a new episode for Series 3, which is the Eddie Munson and Liz Carver series. The episode in question was titled The Sweetest Taboo, and it was episode 12, extra, extra spicy, 17 plus. You get the gif. So yeah, I started to gradually get some feedback on it from people, and most of it, for the most part, I think is good. I guess I don't know. I'm having a hard time reading because of the you can't really get the context from a text. You know what I'm saying? You can't get context from a comment, but at the same time, I did get some ones that were very, very obviously not good, and those have been long since taken down. And I normally don't do stuff like that. I normally leave good and the bad comments up because I believe that you all should be able to share that, obviously, right? Like, I believe that my forum should be a public place to engage, but the comments that I took down were very, very mean and just not good, like not good for my mental health. And I just kind of want to be completely open with everyone. So I don't talk about my personal life here on YouTube that much, given that YouTube has become my escape for things. I have used YouTube strictly for my creative flow because I am in the middle of writing a book, and sometimes writing a book and just talking about the same people over and over can be a little bit much. And sometimes you just need a break. And I found my break through writing scripts. Like, to me, they're short stories, and I'm able to get my creative juices flowing and not sit stagnant when I don't want to work on my book. I hope that makes sense. So I turned to YouTube for that escape. I knew that there was risk involved. I knew that there would be risks involved in what I post on here. There's going to be people that don't like what I post, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I just feel like with this particular episode, I have to explain myself, which kind of sucks. I wish I didn't have to do that, but at the same time, as a writer, as a creator, I feel like I have a responsibility to do such. So, to preface, and this is going to sound weird, like, why am I prefacing with this? To preface, I actually have what is called borderline personality disorder. I struggle with mental health on a daily basis. I struggle with anxiety on a daily basis. I overthink things on a daily basis. It really sucks. It really sucks having a mental illness and not and try to find the way to cope with it. So when one thing with borderline personality disorder is you go through these extreme highs and then you go through these extreme lows. Currently, right now, if you were to get me on the phone with a therapist and they asked me what part of the spectrum I'd be in, I would say I'd be in the extreme lows. And that would be because I don't know. I don't know why. You don't really have an answer when you're suffering from this disorder. You don't have an answer as to why you feel the way you feel. One minute you could be totally happy and on top of the world, and then the next you feel like complete garbage. And yeah, it sucks. It really sucks really bad. So when I posted the episode, I knew that there was going to be risk involved, that people weren't going to like how Liz Carver and Eddie avoided their conflict and just went on into doing something totally different that maybe not everyone would agree with. And hey, I don't even agree with it myself, but I posted it with the intention of pointing out that our characters aren't perfect. Like, they're not perfect at any means whatsoever. They have their flaws. Eddie, in this series, for me personally, Eddie has his insecurities, and a lot of his insecurities branch off the fact that he had a father that ghosted their family, and he had a mother that didn't want nothing to do with him. So when you look at Eddie's perspective, commitment is a very scary thing. You can't easily commit to somebody because I'll put it in this scenario, okay? If you were in Eddie's shoes and you went through a process such as he did, where he was literally abandoned and left to his uncle to take care of him, you could go one or two ways. You could either be so committed to whoever partner you end up with, that, there's no questions asked, you are their ride or die. Or sometimes you could go into the extreme of, I don't want a partner because I'm terrified of the consequences that come from having a partner. And in the process of finding yourself, especially at such a young age, you end up doing very toxic behaviors and not even realizing it, right? I, for one, can say that I was an Eddie at one point. I didn't want any commitments, and I did things that maybe other people would look down upon and be like, I can't believe you did that. You are so toxic. And while I understand that, I also understand that I'm human and I make mistakes like everyone else. And it's the same for my characters. For Liz Carver, she's my original character. Eddie obviously is not my character. But as I write them with the thought that they have issues like any one of us do. And they're not perfect and they make mistakes. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, for those who weren't happy with that episode, I apologize for you feeling like that episode was problematic. I apologize for that. I just hope that you understand that the premise of the series is learning to slowly trust people and slowly learn that you as a person can have toxic behaviors that can end up hurting the people that you care very much for. And in this case, that would be Eddie to Liz. He truly loves her. He truly cares for her. He's just scared of committing to her because of all those reasons. So that's why I wrote the episode the way I did. I knew that there was a risk involved. I knew that people would probably get upset, and that's totally fine. But I do ask that people try to see my perspective just a little bit as to why I wrote the characters the way I did. I'll be honest, the comments I got, the ones I did get rid of that didn't have much premise except for to be just very, very overcritical and mean. the, the reason why I got rid of them is because, like, they made me start second guessing myself and my ability to write. I thought to myself that I put in a good job with the script, and then I hear that, like, these people hate it. And first, my immediate thought, because of my disorder, was, oh my god, you need to take this down. It's fucking terrible. You don't need to be putting this out there. And then the second thought that I had was, I'm going to just take the whole entire channel down. I'm going to shut the channel down, delete it, and go about my everyday 9 to 5 life and not worry about the channel anymore and not produce any sort of script any longer and just kind of keep to myself. I know that sounds fucking crazy, and I agree. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, Hope, that's a really big extreme, and I know it's a big extreme. Like, my head tells me, like, there's a part of my logical head that tells me that's a big extreme, and then there's a part of my head that says, and I'm saying that that's the sick part of my head, the part that has the disorder, that's saying, you're absolutely right. You need to shut all this down because you're wasting space for other people out there that have better quality stuff to give. It sucks having this disease, this disorder, and not knowing when you're 100% right or you're just being out of hand and you're worrying too much about something that you shouldn't even be worrying about at all. I debated for a long time whether or not to post an update. I'll be very frank and tell you that, guys, I had a panic attack and it was fucking terrible. And my best friend Sarah could tell something was wrong with me right away and was trying to get a hold of me because they were terrified that I was going to do something very brash. I'm not going to talk about that here because obviously that's a whole other part of my life that I'm still dealing with. So yeah. So at first I was just going to crawl into a hole and not talk about this, but now that I've had some time to think, I thought, why can't we talk about this? Why can't we have these discussions about our insecurities and our concerns and what we're dealing with outside of creating? And like I told people, not many people know that I battle this disease on a regular basis, on top of my physical diseases that I deal with like the eyesight and whatnot. Only 2 people out there in the VA community know about this. Well, now all you guys know, but only 2 people out there know about this in the community prior to this announcement, and that is Sarah and Lexi over at Lexi VA. Both of them are very aware that I have this disorder, and both of them have been nothing but absolutely supportive as I navigate through dealing with this disorder. So, yeah. So I just wanted to reach out to everybody and let you know that I am listening and I am understanding that not everyone's going to like everything that I put out there, and that's totally fine. But I felt like I needed to share my side of things, and I guess bottom line, the side of things that I want to share is that these characters are going to make mistakes, and they're going to be doing some terrible, terrible things, like unintentionally terrible, like not even realizing that they're doing it, or they're going to make mistakes and say things or do things that might hurt someone else. And while that is happening, my goal is that I hope they're learning from it. And I can attest to you that Eddie's fully aware what he's doing is not the best thing. Maybe not right now, but he is going to be aware of it very soon. And they're going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to deal with the consequences that come from that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I hope you guys don't hate me, and I hope you guys stick around. If you don't, that's totally fine. I understand. Yeah, I just hope that you guys are patient with me and you understand that it's a part of the creative process and that I'm not a toxic person. Oh, God. I hope this makes sense. I really do. Anyways. Sorry. Whew, gosh. This is a lot. This is a lot to deal with right now. Anyway, I guess I want to just hop on here and explain my side of things. I already feel like I'm struggling enough as is because I'm not being I don't have as many numbers as everyone else, and I feel like I have to double down on my work a little extra hard to get the love that I need, that I crave as a creator, right? So hopefully you guys just take this into account when you listen to the episode, or if you start listening to the episode, or you have already listened to the episode. I hope that you guys take into account these characters aren't perfect. Not in my world. They're going to have their flaws, and they're going to have to learn through that process and grow through that process, just like we would in our real everyday lives. So, yeah. With that being said, I am going to hop off here and take like a little bit of a break. I definitely will be back for Thirst Trap Thursday tomorrow. I don't see any issues with doing that. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Thank you for listening thus far. If you did, that's great. And yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you soon.